Welcome to the the-fwot-show on the Coil Entertainment Network. I'm Rob Steele. That's Jesus Jones in the background. And oh, look, I've found more idiots. This time they're in Florida because it's summertime and they're on vacation. Like I know. Anyway, Governor Rick Scott put a bill into action and it became a law in the state of Florida that every school district and every school must prominently display the state motto, "In God We Trust." The bill was put forth also by Representative Kimberly Daniels, who was oddly a Democrat, because usually it's a Republican that's pushing the religious crap on everybody, but she runs a Christian ministry, so yeah, whatever. And I was going to be very upset with this. I was prepped for it, I really was, because I think it's kind of, an usurpment of the First Amendment, where you're allowed to worship however you want. You don't have to be the Christian God. And then it occurred to me, this doesn't say, "In the Christian God we trust." The Christian God, by the way, being named Allah. Just in case you didn't actually know. That part is, where did I get that? That was in the Old Testament. I'm just saying, perhaps you people should read your Bible before you start complaining about other religions. I digress. Anyway, it doesn't say, "In the Christian God we trust." So what I was thinking, right? And this is for all you people in Florida. Todd, I mean you, pass this around. You know those signs that say "Post no bills," except they're surrounded by pictures of bills like Bill Gates and Bill Cosby and Bill Murray and Bill Nye the Science Guy. You know that kind of thing? It goes around periodically. You can find pictures like that on the net. I propose we do the same thing around this. Whenever you see one of those things that say, "In God we trust," surround it with pictures of gods like Zeus and Gaia and Shiva and Thor and Buddha and Apollo and Horus and Michael Jordan. And, just for fun, see if anyone catches on to this. Isis. Yeah, because Isis was an Egyptian god long before she was a terrorist, whatever they are. Cell, group, bunch of twats. I'm just, throwing that out. I think it would be a spectacular idea. And when they take it down, you can complain. You are now usurping my First Amendment right to worship whoever I want. For you say it must only be Christian, and it is not. Over it you must get Padawan. Just throwing that out. I think it would be spectacular. But the next story, I think, is almost equally spectacular. Just the numbers alone in this story. Moving a bit north from Florida into Georgia. Habersham County has a precinct called Mud Creek. I didn't name either of them. It's in northeastern Georgia. And in the elections this past May, they had 276 registered voters. That's kind of a small county, but whatever. And this is not a voter ID thing. 276 registered voters. 670 ballots were cast, but only 276 of them from registered vote. Hang on a minute. That means there was let's do some math, clickety-click on the calculator that I'm not really using, 243% of the registered voters turned out. Wow. That is fairly impressive. I wonder how that happened. I'm guessing Russia. Imported lots of Russians. Russians come, they go to Georgia. Because where did they come from? They come from Georgia. They're registered in wrong Georgia. Yeah, because that's a thing. But speaking of voters and Russia, let's move on to Agolf-twitler. I'm not calling him by his real name. I'm not. This week, the John McCain National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year 2019 was signed by the guy who claims to be the president, even though he lost by 3 million votes. Just saying. Now, you may notice that it's called the John McCain National Defense Authorization Act. John McCain being Senator John McCain. Now, you see, I've already mentioned it infinitely more times than Agolf-twitler did in his press conference announcing that he signed it. That's right. The name on the bill. That, if you're saying, hey, I turned this bill into a law, you should at least mention the name of the bill. And he didn't, because he's a... I know Trump and McCain don't get along. I don't care if Trump and McCain get along. His name's on the bill. You mention him by name. That's the way things work. Although maybe this could mean that we finally flip Arizona into a blue state, despite the temperatures outside, because, it's Arizona. It's hot. I get it being a red state. Flip it to blue. People are having problems with the company Tesla this week. Now, I don't have an issue with Elon Musk or Tesla. Right now, the company is owned by shareholders and everything. Elon Musk says he wants to take it back and make it a private company. That way he can run it more efficiently. I understand that. It's the company he founded. I don't see any problem with him wanting to do that. The issue being that, oh no, he took money from someone from Saudi Arabia. Well, that doesn't mean terrorists are involved. If you track this money back, which is actually quite easy to do to the point that I did it, hello, it comes from someone who is actually an oil baron. Now let's think about this for a minute. A company that makes electric cars, removing the need for oil, is now backed by an oil baron. Even the oil barons realize we're running out. We might want to try finding an alternative source of energy. Hey, this Elon Musk guy seems to be onto something. Let's go there. Just saying. It's not terrorists. It's legitimate people. Now, if you want terrorist-funded things from Saudi Arabia, that would be, what was that company called? Oh, yeah, Fox News. Kinda. There's a Saudi prince named Al-Walid bin Talal. I probably mispronounced that, but it's fun to say anyway. Who does actually have direct ties to somebody named Osama bin Laden. He has given money to this bin Laden feller to fund the attack on 9/11. Now, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal. See, it is fun. Say it with me. By which I mean rewind the show and say it again. He is not actually an owner of Fox News. He is a massive shareholder of 21st Century Fox, which owns Fox News. So let's see, where's the terrorist money going? Oh yeah, to support Trump. In bizarre entertainment news that I know Lee and Todd will not let me put on the the-fwot-show, because even though it's called cinema, which is movies, and savants, which is TV, no, it's not. We still do TV news, but I'm not allowed to talk wrestling. And I'm going to here, although you don't have to watch wrestling to get this story. I found a new service online that streams old wrestling matches. And I'm cleaning the house thinking, you know what, I'll have something on in the background. I'll listen to some old wrestling matches. And this one came up between Rob Van Dam and Sabu. Now, the announcer for this match was Taz, who kept talking about old matches he had with both of them. But this was with Impact Wrestling. And Impact Wrestling didn't apparently have the rights to mention the people Taz, RVD, and Sabu wrestled by name because those people are WWE people now. So basically, this entire match was beeped much in the same way this show is when I say things like Trump. Yeah. Except I was listening to this at the time and hadn't really caught on to what they were doing because I was only partially paying attention because I was cleaning the house. I was trying to figure out why everything seemed to be beeped. What's up with this? It was just weird. And when it occurred to me what was going on, I thought it's also extraordinarily petty of the WWE. Taz should not sound like he's announcing in Morse code, because that's just wrong. But in other news that is going to pop up on Cinema Savants this Sunday, they're coming out with a Batwoman TV series based on the book of the same name, where the character in the book is a gay Jewish superhero. That's right, a lesbian Jewish superhero. Don't get too many of those. As a matter of fact, she's the only one I can think of, and they're making a pretty big deal out of it. That's great. I think it's a great character. I've enjoyed the book for quite some time now, actually. So, who did they get to cast as Batwoman? That would be an actress named Ruby Rose, who is already a lesbian, which I would think would make things easier. Except she immediately started getting bullied online for some utterly bizarre things. One of them being, she doesn't look Jewish enough. How does someone look Jewish? I'm not sure exactly how that comes around. I understand there's a prominent nose thing. I mean, she's got a nose. It's not Krillin from Dragon Ball. Come on. This'll do. And what, you wanted to sound like Woody Allen? Is that what you wanted to do to make her sound more Jewish? I don't understand. Where are you going with this? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get that. The other thing is that people are complaining that she's not gay enough. Really? Here's a quote from her. Where on earth did Ruby is not a lesbian, therefore she can't be Batwoman come from? Has to be the funniest, most ridiculous thing I've ever read. I came out at 12, and for the past 5 years have had to deal with she's too gay. How do y'all flip like that? I didn't change. I wish we would all support each other and our journeys. You know what? With you on that entirely, and right there, that makes her a good superhero. Moving on to the meme of the week, and there's an awful lot of variations on the meme of the week, having to do with Trump and his Space Force, which just sounds like a really bad idea. I mean, NASA's doing this already, aren't they? You're not creating Starfleet, you twit. Anyway, the variation on the meme goes something like this. It's amazing how the anti-science and anti-education administration wants a space force. How are they going to get there? Oh yeah, thoughts and prayers. That just amuses the crap out of me. It really does. By the way, something that also occurred to me this week. The phrase trumped up. Trumped up things mean that they were, made up. And this was a thing long before he was president. So could it possibly be that he's just living up to his name? Let me know what you think about that. Contact me through the website, the-fwot-show.com, where you'll find buttons for Facebook and Twitter and email. Of course, the email is rob@the-fwot-show.com. Send me messages, send me questions, send me answers. An answer to that might be good. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or through the Google Play Store or YouTube or any of the other places that are listed everywhere. If you got a podcast, chances are I'm there. Just click the subscribe button. It makes the sponsors happy. It really does. What else makes us happy is when you go to the FWOT shop and pick up a t-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug or something. Everything you get there supports the Coil Entertainment Network, and we thank you for your support. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with this. It's another thing. It's not quite a meme yet. Could be later. I'm getting a jump on it. It's circulating from a guy named Mike Stacy. It was a tweet, and I'm going to paraphrase this here. I think it's a brilliant idea. His idea is every high school should load up their football team, all of them, into a bus, raise the money if you have to, and take them to at least one marching band contest to cheer and support their marching band. Because the band that is at every home football game supporting them, and a lot of away games, they're there to support the football team. The absolute least the football team could do is show up and support the band. That would be some good school spirit. See, something good to end the show on. I'll see you next week for the FWOT Show, or I'll see you on Friday for the Cinema Savants Review Show and Sunday for the news show. In the meantime, have a good week.